But let's get started on doing the Bondo because I got a warmer day here. Springtime has finally decided to show up. Let's get moving on filling this stuff in. So step one, I'm gonna take my cutoff wheel, my grinder with a flat disc on it, and I'm gonna grind down these welds so they're a lot less protruding. Now there was a dent over here, so this is my original body line, but it's sunk in quite a bit. Someone had hit something here and scraped it all along this back, so that's why there was rust here I had to cut out and a bunch of rust here. This area was no rust, it was just dented in, so we're gonna fill that in with Bondo as well. Now I am aware of all the stuff on the internet. A lot of people say you can't put Bondo on bare metal. Some people say you need to epoxy primer at first. I'm aware of all that. I just, you know, it almost takes the fun out of this stuff. It's somewhat enjoyable to do these projects and whatnot, but if I stress the details, the little minor details like that too much, it's gonna take all of the fun out of it. So I don't really care that much. I am going to paint it with this rust reformer stuff from Harbor Freight. I don't care, any kind of paint I think would be fine. And then I may or may not give it a light sand after that. And then I'm gonna put Bondo on it. I think you could Bondo straight over the bare metal as long as you encapsulate it with paint, you know, on the front side and on the back side in case you're getting water in here. I think if you do all that and just make sure you paint it good enough, I don't think you're gonna have an issue for a while. Again, I mean, this is 30-something, 35, 36-year-old truck. Not looking for anything show quality. Just wanna get some paint on it and cut the rust off. So the point of this is to show you how much hardener you should use. It comes with a real small thing of hardener. I think the ratio is something like 50-1. And now I'm not a Bondo expert. A lot of people say do a whole line across. This is a pretty thick dollop, but I'm gonna do like a half line or so. And that should be enough hardener. You don't wanna put too much in there, it'll cause pinholes, and it'll harden pretty darn quickly when you're trying to work with it. Now I'm not too concerned about hardening this up as fast as possible because I've got a ton to do. And I'm probably just gonna let a lot of this dry overnight before I do any of the sanding. So when you go to mix it up, don't stir it around. Just kind of fold it into itself and then smear it back and forth. You wanna keep all the air bubbles out of it. If you aerate this a ton, you're gonna get a bunch of little pinholes. So let me see. If you can tell right there and right there, if you do a bunch of stirring, you do that, and when you try to spread it out, you're gonna get a ton of these air pockets. So try to keep those out as much as possible. So I'm just gonna keep folding and smearing, trying to keep as much of the air bubbles out of here as possible. And then I will, I'll get my putty knife out and we'll put it on the truck. Ah, we got it slapped on there like boogers. All right, just a heads up, it was way too much hardener. Everything I told you guys, disregard that. Maybe a half of what I had said in that. I might show you another round of actually mixing it up. It was way too hard. It hardened up in about like 7-8 minutes, not enough working time. I did another round and it was maybe a third of what I had put on there, or a half, in that range. That was a lot better working time. We're gonna let this harden up overnight anyways. We don't have any rush on this, but that's all that crap smeared on there. So I'm gonna grind off the rest of the welds for everything, and then I will hit it all with some epoxy primer. Yeah, another thing that I forgot to mention, what I showed you guys was this rust converter. This isn't actually paint, this just converts rust. Yes, I am using that on those spots that I showed you, but you're supposed to use like an epoxy primer. I had this appliance epoxy laying around, so that's what I threw on there underneath all this Bondo. And then we still got, honestly, we still have a couple more rounds to do of this. There was a huge knocked in dent here. You can kind of still see it. I'm no pro with Bondo or any of this crap, as you can tell, but that was really knocked in quite a bit. I didn't feel like hammering that out or or cutting out the panel, so we're just gonna fill it with Bondo. Probably gonna be close to like a 1/4 inch at this point. So I'll have to build that up more once I actually sand all this stuff off. But we're gonna move to the rest of the areas and Bondo those. Time to sand the first layer of Bondo. Time for a little update. So first off, I started out with the power sander, and I think that is 80 grit, and it really didn't do anything. I wasn't getting anywhere. Couldn't cut through any of the thick Bondo lines. Really wasn't finding too many high spots because it was real lumpy. So then I switched over to hand sanding with one of these guys, a little block, and then I was also still using 80 and 24 grit. Here's 24 and here's 80 or 60. Surprisingly, the 60 actually worked better than the 24. 24 I think was just too big a rock. 60 was actually pulling and smoothing out a lot of this stuff. So I was able to use the 60 for that. But then when it came to back here, and if you look, you can really see the low spots. Let me try to get this thing to focus. You can really see the low spots there and a huge one there. This is where the truck was hit, somewhere around here, and then drug all the way back to the tail light, which caused the rust there and here. But you can see these huge low spots. I really wasn't able to find them, and it was taking forever with what I was using. Now, honestly, a lot better. I can barely notice any of these edges here. So what I ended up doing is I bought a little contraption for my cutoff wheel. It's just a plastic black backing plate, and then it has something that threads into the front of it, just like you normally would for a cutoff wheel. And then it's got this sandpaper disc. These 80 grit sandpaper discs. I think they're 80. Yeah, 80 grit, those guys from Harbor Freight. And now that, it moves Bondo real quickly. So you can see I'm kind of starting to get towards somewhere a little bit smoother, and you know, I can't feel these edges anymore. It took this stuff down really well, and I took a lot of paint with it too, and metal, so be very careful. You can find your low spots so you can go back over with Bondo again very quickly. So I gotta do a bit more, and I gotta do the other side. For smaller stuff like right here, I just recommend doing that by hand. I'm gonna really touch up a lot of that stuff with the 80 grit sanding block by hand. This area as well. Anything with any sort of like a curve, especially if it's one of these guys, you can't really do that with the grinder, the cutoff wheel, because you can't stick it in there flat. It's just gonna, it doesn't bend at all. It just hits right on that. I wish they made some sort of attachment for that guy that had padding on the front side of it for the backing plate, so that it would squish a little bit more like a sponge, so you could do some of these angles a lot easier. But you really can't. If you put too much of a corner, or if there's too much of a lump, it just really starts to tear it off, take it away. So I've got a few more low spots to fill in. Whoops, wow, you can't see it because of that. So if you look over here, I'm gonna keep going with my sanding block and that cutoff wheel, and I'll get rid of all the extra Bondo. I'll figure out where my low spots are, and then I will reapply Bondo. So we're about to put on the second coat here, but I want to demonstrate something. I just have a shop light here, and if you get up next to it and you hold the shop light over it and you look, you can really see all the low spots. So see those pretty big divots, but you can see one right there as well when I hold the light. You can clearly see that. Some low spots over there. There's a low spot right in there. This whole thing is a low spot. Decent lighting. All those areas, all that, those are all low spots, and it's just a caved in panel. That's why this is like that. There's a pretty big low spot over there. And then I just did that top skim coat on this side. So hopefully we don't have too many more low spots now. But let's take a look. When we hold the light up above it, you really can't see too many low spots. And I still gotta go and sand because it looks like there might be one right in and about there. I just poked it. That doesn't help, but if you just hold the light to it, my Bondo actually started to harden over here, so you can see we got a little bit of a chunk removed there, and it started to bubble up in this area, so we do have some high build primer for that stuff. But for the most part, I'm hoping that this should be it. One more coat of sanding, and we'll see how lumpy this spot looks after being sanded. That's the idea. That's what you're looking for. Alrighty then. Something I want to show you guys, just since I think most people on YouTube kind of hide a lot of this stuff, what really happens behind the scenes. They don't show you a lot of the stuff, but I mean, I've been sanding for hours, and I'm doing it by hand because that's the best way that I've found to do it. Now you can kind of tell I've got the light, it's magnetic, it's stuck to the side of the truck like that, and it's just shining over here to show me all the imperfections. Anywhere there's a shadow, you can see an imperfection. So what I'm doing here for stuff like this, I don't feel like doing another coat of Bondo. I'm gonna do a high fill primer. What I'm doing for this, taking sandpaper, I'm sticking my finger on the backside, poking at it, and then just really rubbing in just those areas. I get it, that's making the Bondo lumpy, but I'm taking these little dents out. So that's what I did, or that's what I've done to some of the areas, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. Like this one, I'm not going to do another coat of Bondo over it. It's pretty dented in. We're just going to pull out those dents. These large, you can see kind of dents right there. I will continue to sand those unless it gets to a point where I've done it for about 15 minutes straight of sanding and it's still not coming out. Then I'll just run my finger on the back side of the sandpaper and pull those guys out. So when you pull it up like this, I mean, the light's right there, going right down the line. It makes it look pretty lumpy. But if you stand back or if you hold the light right on it, you really don't see any of that. So if you were to just back up, you don't really see a lot of that lumpiness. So I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'll be the guinea pig for this stuff. Once I hit it with that high fill body, I don't know, high fill primer. And then I'll sand the rest of the truck with 80, 120, 240, and then maybe 600. And then I'll paint it black. I'll show you what I'm using to paint it, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. So we'll see how bad it comes out and if it actually looks okay. So that's what I'm doing, just giving you a heads up. All right, so I have the filler primer on here. Man, the light is just not easy to work, but let me try to show you. The filler primer, it's not exactly gospel. What I was really hoping, let's see if I can get in here. Now, bear with me, you see that little scratch? That I did with my light. Being that right there, you can see all the lumps. I was hoping that the filler primer would get rid of this. This wasn't really much of a spot. Aside, I had a little bit of bubbling rust, so I ground it off and threw a little bit of Bondo on it. And I didn't pay much attention to it because I wanted to use it as a sample. Those areas on the edges, I thought that the filler primer would go on a lot thicker, almost more like clay, and it would get rid of some of that stuff. Now once again, light is directly above it. This is some pretty harsh lighting for this stuff. If I back it up, you really can't, let me get this thing to focus. You really can't tell too much. And over here, this was that quarter panel that was pretty lumpy from the accident. You can, I don't know, with this lighting in the garage and the shop light above it, you can kind of see the lumps. It's not the best. This area, it looks pretty good. It's not as lumpy as it may come out on camera. What I'm kind of bummed out about is, see that stuff right there. I thought this filler primer was going to get rid of a lot of these scratches and these really slight tiny holes. Now this is 80 grit sandpaper is what I was doing all this with. So it's pretty harsh, but I really thought the filler primer was going to get rid of a lot of this stuff. I don't know how realistic this lighting is. I don't know that you'd ever find this in real life, but I'm still going to hit the entire truck after this with, let's see, the entire truck is going to get 80, then it's going to get 120, and it's going to get 240, and that'll probably be it if I'm being honest. I don't think I'm going to do 600. Okay. A little bit more to do, but for the most part, all the areas that I cut out and welded in, they're pretty much done here. I'm trying to show you guys as much as possible. Now it's really difficult to do this stuff and film. You gotta stop, you gotta clean your hands off, pull out the camera, get the angle. But the idea here, you guys saw a lot of the stuff I showed you as I was doing this. It doesn't look great, it doesn't look amazing. You can do it with a Harbor Freight welder. You can do it with very cheap tools and not that much. But the panel is in, and it looks like there's a little dent right there. It's not. I just smudged it earlier with my glove when I was wiping something off. Made it worse. It doesn't matter because we got to sand and then clean it for paint anyways. But the idea here that I'm trying to show you is when you don't take a light directly above it and to show all the imperfections, it actually looks pretty good to the naked eye. Same with over here. This one has a couple scratches and scuffs, and it has, you can see this is actually a slight indent right in that area because this is where the car was hit and drug across, but I've said that like 20 times. This side, it looks all right. To the naked eye, it looks okay. You don't have to spend it. Yeah, like I was saying, you don't have to spend a ton of time with really expensive tools to do this stuff. You can still get decent results with cheaper tools and spending an okay amount of time. You really can't tell where I welded in my panels. And I did flange, not butt welds, so just wanted to show you that. Alright, we're back at it again. Step on top of this crap. The last couple bits of Bondo that I gotta do are right here. So I took off this guy. You just remove the panel on the inside, pull it out. You gotta move the window up and down a bit, take the actual window out from the track, and then you can move that up and down independently to get to all the bolts, and then to take out these two guys. Pretty straightforward. I can make a video on that if you guys want, but this has already been prepped, so I just need to really add Bondo to it. And then also one other spot over here that the paint had chipped off and there was just a little bit of surface rust. Way less, obviously, than back there. It's not really pitted, but I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna start sanding the whole car.